To make a truly gorgeous tulip, you need to make a center. The center of a tulip is kind of complicated. I had a few tulips left in my garden, and what I'm holding right now is the center of a real tulip, a large one. And there's a smaller one, and that part actually is called the ovary. And the ovary has three stigma on top um, that come out like horns. And here's a much smaller one, and you can see tiny stamen filaments, and there on top are the stigma, the three bits that are coming off the top. And understanding anatomy can really help us make a much better center. So while we've got some real tulips here, I think it'd be great to look at these petals and the beautiful, luscious curves that they have. That's not going to help you make the center, but actually imagining how the tulip petals come off the center can help you make a better tulip. So let me explain the concept of how we're going to make the center. So we're going to have three wires that we fold in half and crimp in the middle. And the middle crimped bits are going to become the horns of that ovary where the stamen are. And then, because we've doubled over the wires, we're going to have 6 extra wires at the bottom, and those are going to become our 6 stamen. The 3 doubled up wires will be put around a stem wire, and then everything will get put through aquarium tubing, or you can just wrap the stem wire with crepe. All right, let's look at those 3 22 gauge wires, and I have just folded it in half and I'm crimping it tightly. Do that with 2 other 22 gauge wires, then you'll have 3 altogether. Right now I'm making some bits of crepe. I've got some 90-gram yellow, and you can use whatever kind of yellow you'd like. I wrap that 22 gauge folded wire about an inch or 3/4 of an inch from the top. I do it to all 3. Hey, check out how 90-gram can stretch. Isn't that incredible? All right, and then that is a comparison of the stretch of a 180-gram heavy crepe. Okay, so take now your stem wire, which I think should be 18 gauge or 16 gauge, and wrap about an inch of stem wire from the top with that heavy duty crepe, and leave some of the crepe tape hanging off. Okay, now you're going to position your um, stigma wires so that there's about 1/3 of an inch hanging off the top above where your stem wire is. All right, each time you add one of those um, doubled up stigma wires, you're going to wrap around further until everything is settled nicely. You should have a little bit of a bulge in the ovary that you're making on the stem wire. And because you've put all the glue on, it shouldn't pop off on the next step, but do the next step very carefully. So the doubled up stem wires at the bottom, you can raise them up gently and then separate them, and you should have 6 that you're going to clip all to the desired length that you'd like. And those are the filaments. So you've got your 6 stamen filaments. Okay, the next step is you're going to curve those horns at the top using your pliers. And they should curve out and then toward the ovary at the bottom. Now we turn to making the anthers, which are the fuzzy bits on the stamen filaments. You can make them out of green or black crepe paper. Just cut some squares. I like to double up my heavyweight crepe before I put the glue on and cut the squares, and then you can add them to the stamens just like that. You're going to fold them over. You don't have to shape them in advance. You can shape them afterward. And I like to make sure that they're really tightly on the wire before I shape them. So that's what you can do with the green or the black crepe. You might also want to try another kind of material. You can use fabric, you can use velvet, but I'm going to use black crepe here that I'm laminating. Um, and then at this point, I really wish I had used more glue. So before you cut your rectangles, use a bit more glue than I did because I had trouble sticking my stamens to the wire. So you can fold them onto the wires, and once uh, they're on securely, then you can start trimming them. So let's just get all of those little rectangles on. Once the rectangles are on securely, you can trim them. I like to angle both of the corners at the top and at the bottom. And you can angle one side at a time and spin it around. That's an easy way to go. I also like to put a bit of shine on my anthers. And for that, you can use Mod Podge or another layer of tacky glue.
I like to add the finishing touches to my anthers after they've had a chance to really stick to the wire. And what I do is I trim them so they have that classic shape where they are sort of tight to the wire, moving up, and then contracting quickly. So let me see if I can show you one that I like the shape of. So here we are. That's got that classic shape of an anther. And now that you know how to make the center of a tulip, you are ready to level up. Please do like and subscribe. The next video that I make will be to show you how to make this classic black and yellow and red tulip. And you'll see that I've got a center in here, and it just looks pretty good. And it's not that hard. And then this is made out of doublet paper, which we've been using so far with the tulips. The next video I'm going to be making with the very same center will be a fringed tulip made with laminated Cartotechnica Rossi paper. And that'll be the first time I use CR paper on a YouTube video. And that's what I tend to use for my own paper art, and so I can't wait to share that with you. So please do like and subscribe, and you will get more of my free crepe paper and nature art tutorials. Have a great day.